Hardly.
Silver medals to Aguero and Andre. And certainly a bright future for those two young men. Bright future for their country, covering the entire gold medal final.
And now the gold medals presented by Peter Diamond, the president of the FIB Communication Commission.
Final score in that final, 21-15, 21-17. Title taken by Simon and Alvaro Filho. Their first one as a partnership, and they remain undefeated. Dane Blanton, the blocks number.
Yeah, the block's huge, 7-1 for Barbosa and Filho. Simon owned it. This was his final. He was definitely the MVP, and he stepped up.
For my entire Swatch Beach Volleyball Major Series crew here in Fort Lauderdale, as well as my partner Dane Blanton, I'm Kevin Barnett. We will bid you adieu until tomorrow. The women take center stage. For now, victory to Brazil.
He scored!
The Emirates FA Cup on Astro Supersport 4 and HD.
Yes, I be your woman. Yes, I be your baby. Yes, I be whatever that you tell me when you're ready. Yes, I be your girl, forever your lady. You ain't never gotta worry. I'm there for you. Yes, I be whatever that you tell me.
New Journey to the West 3, every Saturday at 7:30 p.m.
The NBA All-Star 2017 on Astro Supersport 4 and HD.
Celebrate LOVE with Pep Guardiola.
That's right, no wall's gonna stop us spreading the love.
Plus, one place where love don't triumph. Find out where.
Well, hello there and welcome to another edition of Supersport Daily. I'm Mark, joined today with the beautiful Nadia Nash.
Did you just... Okay, never mind. I'm
that,
surprised.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. And to those watching us on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. We promise it's just 30 minutes because that's how long you guys will take to prepare for your big date tonight.
Us guys only take 15 minutes, Nadia. And what is this big date you keep talking about?
OMG. Do you not know that today is Valentine's Day?
Ah, so that explains all the roses when I walked to the studio. Were they from you? Thank you very much.
Okay, as if you've got to be dreaming, okay? You've got to be dreaming. The only thing we have in common is that we both support Chelsea.
Hey, come on, we've got so many more things. I mean, right now, we're both, you know, standing this way. We're both on Astro Supersports Live right now.
Okay, you're done? Okay.
Yeah.
But, you know, just give it up. Anyways, we're not the only ones who haven't found love yet this Valentine's.
Who else? Reem, Lez Ann, Michelle? I know, definitely Amanda.
No. I am talking about Sergio Aguero of City. There were apparently reports that the Argentine has told his close friends that he felt underappreciated at Manchester, and it showed when he was named on the bench for the visit to Bournemouth. No love. Now, who says, right, that Sergio Aguero is all out of love at Man City? And coming up, we will see how really out of love he is. But you know what? I take that back. He's getting all the attention from the press while taking a seat on the bench at the Vitality Stadium. His replacement up front, Gabriel Jesus, whom Pep Guardiola just loves dearly of late, at least while he's on the pitch. But it took just 12 minutes into the game against Bournemouth for the 19-year-old to call it a night. Shoved to the ground trying to get onto Raheem Sterling's through ball. Jesus stayed down complaining of a possible foot injury. However, he was pointing towards this incident with Simon Francis that contributed to the knock. Again, trying to get onto a Sterling cross is the root of all problems? Well, anyways, Kun Aguero was called to action after just 13 minutes. He had to rush to put his top on. With the Argentine on the pitch, City came close, Silva unleashing Leroy Sané down the left. The German played to Sterling in the middle, who just couldn't get it in after deflections off Bournemouth defenders. The ball was kept out by the far post. But you know what? Raheem wasn't fazed though. This time, Silva's cross deflected off the cherished defender, and the 22-year-old knew just where to stand the far post to steer it in for a 1-0 lead, and that would be his 5th goal against Bournemouth. The home side thought they had an instant reply to Sterling's opener. Joshua King got in behind the Citizens' defence only to coolly finish it off, until the assistant referee spotted a miss in the play, and rightly so. King was seen pulling John Stones' shirt right before the goal. Now, City found another breakthrough in the second half. Raheem Sterling would play a big part again in the build-up, skipping past Adam Smith before drilling the ball in the box for an Aguero tap-in. The Argentine was ecstatic until the goal was ruled an own goal with the last touch of Tyrone Mings. Too bad. It finished 2-0 to City, and Pep just couldn't wait to embrace Harry Arter after the full-time whistle. Question is, what was he saying? And at Daily, we've got the answers. Now, according to Bournemouth Twitter account, that was a touch of class by Pep. The man in question, Harry Arter, said, "He gave me and my partner his best wishes ahead of the birth of our child." So much of love, right? So much of love.
Yeah, we are so happy for the results, but the result is always consequence for the performance. And we played except 10 minutes the second half in the beginning when Bournemouth pushed a lot, but that is normal. We play really good in all circumstances, and especially the last 10-15 minutes when we make 1,000 million passes, because the best way to defend a result. And in the right moment, attacker runs in behind, but our build-up is every day much better. And very pleased because I know how difficult it is here to come, like Arsenal and Liverpool happened, so it's so complicated because they are a really good team.
Well, yeah, we needed a positive response to the Everton game. I thought we got that tonight. Yeah, you have to take into account who we're playing. I thought the players, as I said earlier, gave everything to the game. The attitude and motivation of the team is a really good level. So I think looking to the future, that's really important characteristics of the team, that we get our bounce back. I think that'll only truly come from a win. But I think today is a positive step forward for the team.
And with that win, the Citizens are second on the table, 8 points behind league leaders Chelsea, who drew with Burnley yesterday. Despite Liverpool boss Jurgen Klopp still being optimistic over their title race chances, Pep has branded his side's title challenge too big of a task. San Antonio, Golden State, Cleveland, LA Clippers and Toronto.
Those are not the teams that Nadia supports in the NBA, but they do lead the standings when it comes to three-point field goal percentage.
That is absolutely correct. And even if I continue naming the teams till I reach like top 10,
which you couldn't do.
I can, you won't find the Denver Nuggets in there because they're actually the 11th best team when it comes to scoring from beyond the arc this season.
But today, however, it was very, very different. Now, Kevin Durant and his Warriors had the tables turned in Denver. The Nuggets were allowed to dominate from downtown from the start. The back pass by Jimmy and Nelson. Jamal Murray from long range, and there was more. Nelson got in on the act. The wide open three, and the Nuggets scored 42 this quarter, the most let in by the Warriors this season. Hernan Gomez now making it a 16-point game to the Nuggets. And Mike Miller joined the party. And doing his best impression of Klay Thompson, here's Nelson again with his best imitation of Steph Curry. Will Barton now with the splash. And every Denver starter finished with more than 15 points to their name in this one. But in contrast, the Golden State could not sink a basket to save their life. Steph Curry showed us he is actually human over here off the rim. It got pretty ridiculous by the third. Who kidnapped the real Steph Curry? The Nuggets, they matched the NBA regular season record with 24 from downtown, a new franchise record.
You know, it's all about will. We came out, everybody who stepped on the floor gave it their all. And, you know, one thing we talked about was leaving it on the court. No matter what happens, let's be satisfied with the result. And obviously, we're satisfied with the victory.
Shooting from downtown, you satisfied with that? How many guys made the threes tonight?
Yeah, this maybe my first time seeing a game like this when a lot of guys making a lot of threes. And, you know, the way we shared the ball. And but first and foremost, it started with our defense. We locked in, we helped each other, and we got a lot of stops.
Now over to the capital. Washington hosts the Oklahoma City Thunder. The night started with John Wall being presented his All-Star jersey. Now there's no point to prove for Wall at DC. They already know what to expect. He would go about doing J-Wall things, robbing Russell Westbrook for the fast break before spotting an unmarked Bradley Beal for the three. He's not the only All-Star though, let's get that right. Westbrook was the other one. Here he is with the three-pointer play, courtesy of a foul by Wall. The home favorite would not be phased, driving in for this reverse layup, getting fouled in the process by Steven Adams for a possible three-point play of his own, DC style. But this incident would prove the turning point for the Thunder after missing the jumper. Westbrook went in for the offensive rebound, but the second attempt spelled disaster as he injured his finger in the process. Ouch. Now, this is what I meant by disaster earlier. The Thunder would miss 24 straight shots. Just to make sure you heard me right, it's 24 consecutive shots missed by the Thunder. Now, with OKC lost in their zone, the Great Wall came up with the goods right here, making yet another steal, driving to the other end before that pass to set up Otto Porter for the dunk. Let's see that again. Here he goes. The Wizards weave their way to 22-point victory at the Verizon Center. Now to more hoops action coming your way. We have the Toronto Raptors hosting the Chicago Bulls. That is live tomorrow at 9 a.m. channels 817 and 836 in HD. Just in case if you missed it, don't fret. I will be with Michelle on Daily with all the lowdown.
Now that wraps up the first part of Supersport Daily. And I've got to say, Nadia, thank you so much for those basketball updates. They were simply magnificent.
Why? Thank you, Mark. I am surprised. You are very nice to me today. Why?
Well, Nadia, I've been thinking, you know, tonight you're free. I'm also free. It's Valentine's Day. Can you see where I'm going with this one?
Okay, you know, I know exactly what you're trying to say.
Yep.
You were going to ask me what's coming up next, right? And I have just the thing for you. Right, on the day we celebrate love, one guy finds it hard to start loving, just like Mark. Well, find out why in just a few minutes.
This broadcast of the Premier League is brought to you by MyEG, Malaysia's e-government service provider. Calpis, Japan's first cultured milk drink. and Brickfield's Asia College, the fastest and smartest way.
Thanks for keeping it locked on daily. Just as we expected, Joe Root has been confirmed as England's new Test cricket captain. The batsman will be the 80th man to lead the country. He steps up from his role of vice-captain. That role will now be filled by Ben Stokes. Root is expected to captain his first match in July, before leading England against Australia in the Ashes 4 months later. And I bet you didn't know this, Root ranks only behind cricket greats Brian Lara and Rahul Dravid when it comes to scoring runs in his first 25 games. He's also scored more centuries than the likes of Sachin Tendulkar, Ricky Ponting, Jack Kallis and Kumar Sangakkara. And now, after featuring in more than 50 Test matches, Root is finally appointed to lead his country. And before today, the Utah Jazz held the record for most consecutive winning seasons.
Yep, they went 19 seasons with more wins than losses between 1985 and 2004. And that was partly during the time the great Jerry Sloan was in charge.
But then the San Antonio Spurs just had to beat that record. If you recall, only last week their coach overtook Sloan as the head coach with the most wins for one franchise.
Yep, and it didn't come easy though, Mark. Even though the Pacers were trying to stop a 3-game losing skid, Paul George was tired of losing. The dime here by Al Jefferson. Indiana lead by 6. Jumping to the third cue, PG with the drive before the layups. And the foul. He'd make the free throw to total 27 here. 1-point game to Indiana. Until Kawhi Leonard says so. 3-point play there. San Antonio take the lead. Later, game tied, but from the corner, Kawhi beyond the arc. Spurs lead 75-72. But then the Pacers committed daylight robbery. Monte Ellis on the break all by himself, and the lead changed again. Even Greg Popovich was impressed with that. Fourth quarter, Dwayne Dedmon tries to fake his way past. He finally finds Kawhi for the long two, 32 points for a 2014 NBA champ. Then with less than a minute on the clock, 2-point game to the Spurs. Ellis tries to get possession of the ball, but he knocks it to LMA instead. 19 points for the big man. Spurs win.
What was the difference in the mindset between yesterday afternoon's game and tonight's?
It's a great question. Couldn't hit a shot yesterday. Today, we still couldn't hit a shot, but it was a little bit better. I thought offensively, ball movement was a little bit better, and our energy, too, was a little bit better.
You do a really good job of keeping your composure when guys miss shots when you throw them the ball.
It's all inside, Sean.
It's all inside, yes. Because I was just going to get to, like, you know, Avery Johnson. If he threw it to me and I missed in the corner, it was like, ninja. He was on my case. How are you keeping your cool?
I don't know. I just thought it's better to keep a positive attitude. You know, I always try to, you know, tell my teammates keep shooting, you know, don't lose confidence and stay positive. Inside, I'm screaming inside, but but you know, outside, you know, I try to keep it cool.
Spurs set an NBA record with that win, 20 consecutive winning seasons. That just means they have a bigger number in the W columns than the L's. And they can still bloat that number with around 17 more games to be played this season.
Over to Texas now, where Isaiah Thomas and the Boston Celtics were in town. But step aside, IT, because this is Dirk Nowitzki's house. The German starts his night with one from downtown. However, it wasn't smooth sailing for the Mavs. The returning Deron Williams got into trouble with that drive, which was deemed offensive by the ref. Here is a second look, and you can see why he was pretty upset with that one. In the third quarter now, IT showed Williams there is no need for violence. Come on, running past 4 Mavs players before making the basket with a tough layup. IT has arrived, and it's not the fourth cue yet. Top scorer Harrison Barnes would take matters into his own hands, keeping the Mavs in the game with that triple 6-point game now. And then, fourth quarter, after Yogi Ferrell missed his three, the Celtics unleashed their fourth quarter man, IT, for the easy layup. And he would seal the win for Boston, and after those 3 points, ended his night with 29 in total. The Celtics are now on a 3-game winning streak. And IT is gearing up for the All-Star Weekend happening at the end of the week. And guess what? Apart from me being there myself, you are also invited to watch the event as well, at home, of course. We start off on Saturday, where the celebrity game will kick off the event, and the following day is where the magic happens. All-Star Saturday, that will see my favourite slam dunk competition, and then, of course, we will head over to the main event, the All-Star Game on Monday morning. All that live on channels 817 and 836 in HD. But if you can't catch all of that, Nadia and Amanda will bring you all the lovely highlights on Monday.
Over in Milwaukee, the Bucks hosted the Detroit Pistons at the Harris Bradley Center, but it wasn't Giannis Antetokounmpo leading the way this time. In fact, he played only a small role. Making the plays for Bucks this time around is Michael Beasley. The Pistons found it hard to get going up until Andre Drummond announced himself with that coast-to-coast finish. He would eventually rack up 21 points. With Giannis having an off day, Greg Monroe took responsibilities, also dribbling down the paint for that hook. Shot right there. Down the other end, Monroe showed up again with a steal before going up to the other side for a jam finish through the transition play. 3 steals for him the entire game. And soon it was Beasley again continuing his assault on the Pistons' rim, spinning his way in for the basket before knocking down the fadeaway. 23 points for the 28-year-old the entire night. Now, the night wasn't complete for Milwaukee without a Greg Monroe special to seal the win, at least for tonight, though. The Wisconsin crowd certainly got their bucks worth. Get it, Mark? Bucks worth? Because they're playing against the Bucks. There we go.
It was huge. I mean, every game counts, you know. It's unfortunate, but, things that happen like Jabari, it happens. And, next man up. And, Giannis is, he's an all-star. Yeah. He's been carrying us the whole year, so it's only right to give him a game off.
Guess what? After a nearly 2-month rest, the Champions League is back on your screen.
The champions.
Please stop. Although our team Chelsea is not on it, there are still some big, exciting matches coming up. Please don't do it again. Oh, she did it again. Great. Currently defending champions in Portugal, Benfica have a date with Borussia Dortmund in the last 16. Yes, the German side broke the record in the group stage with a number of goals they scored, 21. They also finished top of their group ahead of defending champions Real Madrid. And all that was mainly down to the duo of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Marco Reus, who scored 7 between them. Now, in contrast, Benfica made it through with the fewest points of any side left in the competition. However, they've only lost twice in their previous 20 games against German sides. And that match will be played Wednesday morning. 3:45 AM is the time. 810 and 831 are the channels you got to be watching.
Meanwhile, Paris Saint-Germain will be up against a familiar face when Barcelona comes over. This is the 4th time in 5 seasons PSG is taking on a Spanish team in the last 16. So far, the Catalans would be happy with their history, winning their last 3 between the two, including that 3-1 win from their last visit to Parc des Princes back in 2015. Unai Emery would be banking on his informed Uruguayan Edinson Cavani for the goals, but he's also going to have to be prepared for Cavani's other South American friends. All right, be sure to catch their 10th meeting. Latest starts from 3:30 in the AM for the pre-show featuring our special guest, Teddy Sheringham, in the studio. You won't want to miss the former Champions League winner, what he's got to say prior to the match, right? On channels 816 and 834 in HD. Or another alternative is to catch Michelle and I tomorrow on Daily. All right, first you've got the NBA. Now we also have the Champions League back on our TV screens. So thanks for the update, Mark.
Yes, more football for the rest of you. Wait, you said thanks for the updates. You're being surprisingly nice to me. What's going on?
Okay, you know what, Mark? I've been thinking about, what you said earlier.
I know where this is going. Yep. So the date I offered you earlier, it is still on.
Okay, I'm not finished yet. I wasn't talking about the date. No, I was going to say that we have this up next.
Bizarre scenes in South America. Where is the love, guys? Don't be so stuck like Nadia. Come on, all that and more love coming your way.
Chong Wei, Chan Peng Sun, Go Liu Ying, Go Vishem, Tan Wee Kiong.
Target locked, a date with Superstar.
Any more SS Purple League players?
I'll give you a surprise later.
How do I join?
With purchase of 999 ringgit and above.
And then?
Stand a chance to fine dine with Superstar.
Some more?
Free signature player jersey.
Any more?
Don't ask me anymore. Visit Sin Heng today.
Okay.
A date with Superstar. Join us now. Sin Heng. Different. Truly different.
Jumpa kat tempat lama, okey? Nak bayar saman sikit.
Okey, okey. Kat mana, Dam?
Tengah parking ni. Sorry.
Itulah, kat MyEG boleh menyelesaikan bayaran saman, insurans, cukai jalan, lesen, my card dan zakat.
Permit pekerja asing pun boleh. Bos yang bayar.
Daily is back and so is our Facebook live session. So make sure you're online this Friday at 3 p.m. to ask Swarna and Lez Ann everything and anything you've ever wanted to know about them. Like, why is Swarna so annoying? And why does Lez Ann take ages to do her makeup? Ask them anything. Make sure you do.
Right, Mark. Well, see, not everyone's got good taste like us. Okay, at the Rotterdam Open now, Thomas Berdych hoping his campaign will last till the very end again. He's been to 2 previous finals in the last 3 years, but it wasn't his best beginning, needing a tie-break in the first set against qualifier Marius Kopil. Luckily, it was an easier second set for the 4th seed. The winner between Richard Gasquet or Victor Troicki awaits him in the second round. In the other half, Deniz Istomin met Aljaz Bedin for a second time in 2 days. They met earlier in the second round of qualifiers. Bedin won that in straight sets. Here, the Uzbek finally got his revenge in one of the longer rallies here, but the Brit just couldn't match Istomin any longer, sending that backhand into the net. Well, you could say evening out the scores between both men. Up next for Istomin, either Misha Zverev or Grigor Dimitrov.
Now over to the Northeast, and surprisingly, there's actually awards to collect. Jermaine Defoe was named Northeast Player of the Year, despite his shortcomings on the pitch.
I think it's just part and parcel of the game these days. You win some, you lose some, what people say. From last week winning 4-0 to getting beat 4-0. So it's important that you stick together. Like the manager said, you know, we keep it going. I think the signs are there that we're a good team, and when we're on it, we're really on it. So we'll just see what happens. Still a long way to go, but obviously disappointed from yesterday, you know, with the goals that we conceded. But you know, it's important that we stick together and move forward.
I wouldn't celebrate too much because Sunderland are rock bottom of the league, but Defoe's adamant that he's never been sharper.
I feel sharper than ever, to be honest. Throughout my career, I've always felt sharp. I've always worked hard. I've always worked on my finishing. So in games, I always feel comfortable scoring goals. But I'd have to say it's probably the sharpest I felt for a long time. Towards my time at Tottenham, towards the end I was playing games but being rotated, so I didn't really get that level of fitness and sharpness. So I think at the minute, probably the sharpest I felt for a long time.
Well, this is exactly what I was talking about earlier on. The Black Cats are in the red zone of the Premier League on goal difference, losing out to fellow strugglers Crystal Palace. Not since 2011 have Sunderland not been known as just another team in the relegation dogfight. They finished 10th then under Steve Bruce. But could their survivors' luck be over? Come the end of the season, we'll have to wait and see for ourselves.
Thanks for the update, Mark.
I think that's probably the 3rd time you've done that on today's show, Nadia.
Yeah, you know, I've been thinking, Mark.
I know where this is going once again. Yep, the date that you rejected in the last half of the show is still on. Mark, congratulations.
Relax, okay? Chill out. You know what? It's my first time too, okay?
First time doing what?
Yeah, first time doing the segment on Tuesday's show. Right, that's what, you know, we were talking about, right?
Of course. Now time for a more bizarre side of the sporting world.
That was bizarre, Mark. What was that? Speaking before this weekend's match against Tottenham, Jurgen Klopp was rudely interrupted by a dictaphone that was beeping for help. Well, watch this.
I always, in all situations in life, to deserve luck, the only way is to work. And that's what we do. One of your machines is obviously, I think this one. Yes, is the battery is low or empty. I'm not sure. Yeah. Our battery, by the way, is not.
To reporters about their match against England until this happened.
Eddie? No, sorry mate, they're in the middle of a press conference. Sorry, mate. I don't know who that is.
Right, now, so you know in wrestling there's always a good guy and a bad guy, right? But we think this guy might have taken things a little too far when he had Donald Trump's face on the American flag on stage. Something you don't want to do in the Mexican pro wrestling scene or lucha libre. This very brave soul is Sam Polinsky, and you can tell why he's looking forward to getting a wall between his country and Mexico. He can't even defend himself in the ring. There's the flag I was talking about with Donald Trump's face on there. Now, the fans, though, enjoyed seeing him get beaten up by the Luchas. Getting beaten up, all right. Maybe not all love was lost there. He was then booed out of the arena, and the fans did not hold back. Well, not sure if he will be welcomed back to Mexico anytime soon.
Well, I want to know if he got home safe after that.
I know.
Well, it's come to the end of the show, but I'm going to try one more time to convince you to go out with me on Valentine's Day. OK, here we go. My name must be Ashley Young this evening because, Nadia, I'm falling for you.
Not impressed.
I wouldn't pay $2 billion for the Clippers, but I'd pay $2 billion to go on a date with you.
OK, the worst basketball pickup line I've heard
Is
ever.
your name really Kevin? Because I think I love you.
I changed my mind. This is the worst pickup line I've heard
You
ever.
know what? Forget it. I've given up. I hope you all have a great Valentine's Day this evening.
Yes, you enjoy your time with your loved ones. We will see you soon. Bye. Thanks for watching. Happy Valentine's Day, Mark.
Satu percobaan cantik. Oh, satu jaringan mantap. Oh, cantik.
Yes. TNB Malaysian Hockey League 2017. Live on Astro Arena and HD.
Celebrate the biggest award events this February.
So tonight's we're coming live for British music.
That's right. Tonight we've got stunning live performances from the cream of the crop.
And the Oscar goes to...
And the winner is... Thank you first to the Academy. Absolutely blown my mind. Thank you, darlings.
The Brit Awards 2017 and the Oscars, the season's most anticipated events, live on Astro.
Monsters, are they real?
He's been following us. Hold on!
Say you're scared! Say it!
As I live and breathe, he's mine.
In the Heart of the Sea premieres Saturday, February 25th, 9 p.m. on HBO.
What a first game of the season this has turned out to be. A little bit of early season bang-bang for the fans.
I do not care whether you wear light blue, dark blue, red, yellow, whatever colour you are, you need magic moments. And this is one of them. What a try, what a finish, and what an occasion.
The headlines from Omnisport on Tuesday the 14th of February.
Melo lifts Knicks to crucial win over Spurs. Cavani asked to pick him or Luis Suarez. And we round up another action-packed weekend of football. Also in the program, Rosberg has warning for old team Mercedes. All the goals from the Liga MX. And there's dinghy delight in hectic Red Bull event. But first to the Big Apple, and things have been rotten of late for the New York Knicks. Losing 4 straight games at Madison Square Garden, they were at risk of losing 5 in a row for the first time in their history. They needed a huge performance against the San Antonio Spurs, and their main man rose to the occasion. Languishing outside of the playoff places, the Knicks needed some cheer before going into the All-Star break later this month.
Anthony off the screen, knocks it down.
Some nice interplay early on saw Carmelo Anthony get them on the board. Derrick Rose and Melo then combining for the alley-oop shortly after.
Say the right things as Carmelo Anthony finishes on the break.
Much to the delight of famous fan Spike Lee. But the Spurs have the second best record in the association. And with MVP candidate Kawhi Leonard to the fore, they opened up a lead before the half.
And Leonard with the punch underneath.
But early in the third period, New York came to life.
There's Melo for 3.
Anthony passing Charles Barkley for 25th on the all-time scorers list with this 3.
That's his first 3 make of the day.
The home side were gathering steam. Kristaps Porzingis also registering from beyond the arc. They averaged more than 64% from downtown, their best mark of the season.
Anthony from downtown. There you go. Not the way they drew it up, but Carmelo will take it anyway.
Melo again giving them the lead. Anthony was now in full flow. The home crowd on their feet after this drive to the baskets.
Trying to get an easy one, and Melo took it all the way to the cup.
But the key play of the game came shortly after. Courtney Lee stealing the ball from Patty Mills. The Garden expectant as Melo lines up another 3.
On one, Melo for 3. Got it! We've been waiting. There it is.
His final scoring act of the night effectively sealing a tense but deserved win.
Rose to Melo, and it's ice!
Victory giving New York something to build on.
Anthony answering the challenge.
A lot of times, our offense is going one night, our defense is going another night. I think tonight we put it together, we put a full game together, and we pulled this off.
New Orleans Pelicans rookie Buddy Hield was ejected from Sunday's loss to the Sacramento Kings after hitting DeMarcus Cousins in the groin. Hield was attempting to get around a screen when his right hand made its way between Cousins' legs. Hield said the contact wasn't intentional, but the flagrant 2 foul still sent him to the showers early. The Detroit Pistons outscored the Toronto Raptors 36-19 in the fourth quarter to win 102-101. Toronto's Kyle Lowry said everything went wrong in the final quarter as the Raptors dropped their 10th game out of their last 14. The Chicago Bulls were without Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade as they lost to former head coach Tom Thibodeau and the Minnesota Timberwolves 117-89. Thibodeau said after the game he still roots for the Bulls, but his new team stuck it to his former, leading by as many as 26 in the first half. And that's your Daily Dish from around the NBA.
Football now, and the UEFA Champions League knockout stage gets underway today with a battle between 2 of the world's best strikers. PSG host Barcelona in the first leg of their last 16 tie, with star forward Edinson Cavani in rare form. He has a record 25 goals already this season in Liga. However, Barcelona's attacking trio is the envy of most teams in Europe. And in Luis Suarez, who like Cavani hails from the city of Salto in northern Uruguay, they boast La Liga's top scorer.
Sí, hay una de las cosas con Luis que nos caracteriza que es de donde venimos.
There's one thing I share with Louis. We're from the same city in Uruguay, but we've travelled different paths.
Con caminos un poco diferentes, me parece.
I don't think about which one of us is better. I know we're different types of strikers. We have different characteristics.
Somos delanteros diferentes características.
Cavani has good stats, as he did before with other teams like Napoli. He scores a lot because he's a number 9 with many different talents in the box. He's able to sacrifice himself whilst defending. It's obvious he's playing as a forward, and his figures show that he's as good as the best players in the world.
The match will take place on Cavani's 30th birthday, the Uruguayan hoping for a simple gift.
Sí, para mí un buen regalo sería poder sacar un resultado positivo.
A nice present would be for us to get a positive result, because we all work really hard every day, and this team wants to go a long way in this competition. So if things go the way we want them to, that would be the best gift for my birthday.
Todas las cosas se puedan dar como todos deseamos, y ese va a ser el regalo más lindo que podría tener en el día de mi cumpleaños.
Meanwhile, Borussia Dortmund flew out for their first leg against Benfica in Lisbon. Thomas Tuchel's side have struggled domestically. Defeats against Darmstadt at the weekend, leaving them 15 points behind leaders Bayern Munich. Success in Europe now Dortmund's main priority this season.
I think we put pressure on ourselves. We want to accomplish our goals. That includes the Bundesliga. Everyone wants that. So it was very disappointing not to get the points at Darmstadt. Now we can only look forward to the Champions League.
Benfica are 1 point clear of Porto at the top of the Primeira Liga table. And Marcel Schmelzer is expecting a tough test at the Estadio de Luz.
I heard the atmosphere should be very good there. I've heard that from players who have played there before, so I'm looking forward to it. A Champions League match is always something special, even more so in the round of 16.
Manchester City had domestic matters to attend to before their Champions League clash next week. And they beat Bournemouth comfortably to climb to second in the Premier League. Raheem Sterling got City's first just before the half hour, and Tyrone Mings' own goal in the second half secured the 3 points for the visitors. A third straight league win for Pep Guardiola's men. They're now 8 points behind leaders Chelsea.
They have to lose 3 games because the goal average is in front of them. So it's and you have to win all the games. So it's, you know how difficult it is to win all the games in the Premier League. So what I have to do is game by game.
That ends a busy weekend of football action across Europe. Here are 5 things you didn't know. There was a first league win of 2017 for Liverpool, thanks to Sadio Mane. Just 138 seconds separated his strikes in the 2-0 victory over Tottenham. That saw the Reds close the gap on leaders Chelsea, who could only draw at Burnley. Thibaut Courtois beaten by a direct free kick for the first time in the Premier League. Following his brace against Alaves on Saturday, Luis Suarez has now netted against 23 of the 24 teams he's faced in La Liga. In Germany, Bayern Munich netted twice in injury time to beat Ingolstadt. They're the first team in Bundesliga history to score their first 2 goals after the 89th minute. And Edinson Cavani keeps setting records in Liga. He's the only player to have 25 goals after 25 match days in the last quarter of a century.
We head to Qatar now and the beginning of the golf swing on the WTA Tour. Forced out through injury, Carla Suarez Navarro will not be defending the Doha Open title she won last year. That gives the likes of world number 2 and top seed Angelique Kerber the chance to claim her first title in the country. The German has a first round bye and is not worrying about rankings points at this stage.
Actually, I'm not thinking about defending some points or like thinking about, you know, how far I had to go. I'm just going to the tournament to playing match by match, and this is actually always my goal, and thinking of my tennis.
Another top star looking for a first win in Doha is Agnieszka Radwanska. The Pole currently 6th in the world and looking to bounce back from a shock early defeat at the Australian Open.
Definitely happy that I did already one final.
obviously, but unfortunately not that good in Grand Slam. It's always disappointing to lose in the first week of the Grand Slam, so well, hopefully I can do much better in the other Grand Slams.
Dominika Cibulkova was a surprising winner of the WTA Tour Finals in Singapore last year, beating Kerber in the showpiece. At a career-high ranking of 5, she also has a first-round bye and is still getting used to her lofty position.
You know, of course, I'm in a new situation, never been in here situation because of the ranking, you know, so I'm, you know, it's my head works in a little bit different way, so I have to get used to it. So this is what I'm trying to do, you know, I'm just trying to do my best, and I try to improve myself every day.
We'll bring you the best of the action from Doha throughout the week.
To the world of motorsport now, and the Formula One season is fast approaching. One man who won't be lining up for the first Grand Prix in Melbourne next month is Nico Rosberg. He became the first reigning world champion to retire from the sport since Alain Prost in 1993. But the German insists he doesn't regret his decision.
In Austin 2015, when I lost the championship to Lewis, it was very tough, because you put I put my whole life into trying to win on that racetrack, you know, and then when you suffer such a loss, it's a tough moment. And I found motivation that I didn't even know I had. So I came out of that and I put everything into it.
Former teammate Lewis Hamilton had the edge during their 4 seasons together at Mercedes, but Rosberg beat the Briton to claim a maiden world title in 2016. Valtteri Bottas will now partner 3-time champion Hamilton at the German manufacturer, and the 31-year-old is already looking forward to seeing how he'll get on.
I would tell him don't expect an easy ride, that's for sure, because it's going to be challenging. You know, coming into a new team with Lewis, having been there for so many years, new regulations, everything, and Lewis he's one of the best out there. You know, so the level is extremely high. But at the same time, Valtteri is very talented, you know, so for sure he can achieve great things as well, as long as the team give him a good car.
Mercedes have won the past 3 Constructors' titles and will head into the new season as favourites once again. A radical overhaul of the regulations, however, could see the pendulum shift, and Rosberg has warned his former team to guard against complacency.
Mercedes is an incredible team. They're the best ones out there, so there's a good chance that they're going to be at the front. But the rules are totally different, you know, so everybody had to start from zero building their cars to these new regulations. So it's really, you just don't know. You know, nobody knows.
We'll continue to bring you all the build-up to the upcoming Formula One season right here on Omnisport.
Still ahead, Toluca battle Veracruz in Mexico. Barca new boy looks to make his mark. And Frank de Boer runs the rule over Champions League ties.
This broadcast of the Premier League is brought to you by Calpis, Japan's first cultured milk drink. Brickfields Asia College, the fastest and smartest way. And MyEG, Malaysia's e-government service provider. The chase for Europe's greatest football title continues as the battle heats up in the round of 16. The UEFA Champions League on Astro's Supersport channels.
With on-demand entertainment, your favorites are with you everywhere.
Keep it up.
The latest movies.
Kalau malam tu sayang dah semua ni takkan jadi.
Don't tell me this is your wife.
Kalau wife pun kenapa?
The most popular dramas. The top shows. Sports. And more. Catch your favorite programs on demand. Available on TV and the all-new Astro on the go.
Unmistakable image there, high above the LA basin, the Hollywood sign in the Hollywood Hills, and 10 million people in the area, many making their way